This is info wars, right? So you got some info warriors on both sides of you,
and we're back. Check. Good morning, America. Here we go again. Yay. The artist formerly known as Kanye West. Man, he's been putting out some interviews. You know, we thought that Joe Rogan one was big. And, you know, a lot of people were hitting me up, and I, you know, always appreciate that. They were asking about the Drink Champs interview and that should be covered. And, wow, what an interesting video. I don't even know if you can even talk about this right now because it's so crazy. Isn't this the reason why Ye walked off a Tim Pool?
You're not going to take, if we can't, you're not going to take my pain away, right? The Jewish people say, it's the Holocaust, this happened, and you can't say anything about it. We can't take their pain away. No one's going to denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what, because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like, I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK because as I'm getting hosed down every day by the press and financially, I'm just standing there.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who is they though? We can't say who they is.
Corporate press. I'm not using the. I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking about.
It is them though, isn't it? I mean, because and because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you afraid of the press?
He's gone.
Oh, and just like people were saying, did you see how scared Tim looked? He looked like he was about to take that beanie off, right? I was like, okay, we getting ready to see him take that beanie off? He looked pretty scared, man. But, yeah. That Tim Pool interview, man. Like I said before, man, you can't yell at rappers. Can't do it, man. Can't do it. So there's been a lot of interviews going around. But, yeah, to bring it back to that Drink Champs interview, that interview was a powerful interview nonetheless, however you want to put it. There might have been some things, or yes, there were some things that probably did not need to be said or that shouldn't have been said, and we could say that's probably with all the 5 or 6 recent interviews and podcasts that Ye has done these last weeks or so. But let me tell you this, man. The Alex Jones interview, woo, here we go again. Like people were saying about the Joe Rogan interview. And then we had to do the video and put it out there and show people, hey, yo, man, this is what he's saying here. Here we go again, man. Same thing with the Alex Jones interview. And by the way, did some of y'all watch that Lex Fridman interview?
That's what they said. And you know what? And you can have my voice raised or lower. I'm going to do it lower, right? Because what's happening to me I put in your words, the media is saying, not only can you not explain yourself, we don't care how you got to that point. You need to apologize and you can't explain. And that's the end of the story. So just apologize so we can have Mel Gibson do some more films. You know what? I'm sorry I had a sleepy text. I'm sorry I wrote. I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry that I put that I was 5'12" or 5'11" on Tinder. Okay, my cock is not 14 inches. I lied, okay? It's only 13.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I thought that one was on point too. I thought that one was very honest. That one was very just an interesting conversation. But the interview, conversation, podcast, whatever you want to call it, with Alex Jones. Whoa, man, that was like some another level type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you could pull up the Hitler, y'all could pull up this, y'all could pull up that, and yeah, that was some. Who wasn't gonna sit there? Like they said, even Alex Jones was sitting there like, damn, I can't believe you're saying this. Can't nobody believe it. But I will say this though, that there were some other things that were said in that interview that I think that everybody needs to pay attention to. Cannot say that there weren't jewels being dropped in that interview. So let's get to it, man. I love the part about Instagram too.
Instagram is a prostitution ring. Like, I went 30 days off of Instagram, and it was the best part of the fast. Me getting kicked off of Instagram was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because when I go to it, it's like watching it with the They Live goggles, which is something.
I've been thinking about this. I've been talking to a lot of people about this. I mean, of course, everybody's discussing social media. Yeah, so I like the fact that he refers to Instagram being kicked off of Instagram as fasting. You know, like, it's no longer like we just need to fast from food. Oh, and by the way, you feel so good after you fast. I did a couple fasts, and I got to tell you, man, after that third day, your mind starts to go bam. But other than that, yo, I love how he refers to social media as needing a fast of social media, and that Instagram is one of the highest apps that promote pornography and sex trafficking. I was like, yo, can we even talk about this? Is this okay? I want to keep this video in good standing because, like I said, man, the internet and it's getting strange, yo. It's getting strange. It was not at the time before where you could just go online and say anything you wanted, and people was like, oh yeah, whatever, it's the internet. You know what I'm saying? You remember that? When people was like, oh, you're on the internet, you're on YouTube, or you're on Twitter talking about that? Oh, well, whatever. It's Twitter. We ain't in those times no more, man. What's the other thing? Oh, yeah, by the way, Kanye's Twitter account is now suspended. Again? Elon, what's up? Isn't that your boy? That's your boy, right? I mean, as Kanye, or excuse me, as Ye would put it, you know, hey, I think Elon got handlers around, and he's got a bunch of yes men as well, and people telling him what he needs to do. So I feel that he probably deleted his account because other people, possibly the board members, told him that he had to. Because why would you do that? Why would you kick your own homeboy off your platform? It makes no sense. Let's get into a little bit of these clips. Me getting kicked off of Instagram was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because when I go to it, it's like watching it with the They Live goggles, which is something that Owen Benjamin, you guys got to pull this up. Dave Chapelle is a hack, and he gets a lot of his jokes from Owen Benjamin. Dave Chapelle went on a Jewish platform and said, they dropped that nigga. Dave Chapelle said they dropped that nigga talking about Ye, and he called me Kanye, and I'm supposed to be his friend. Dave Chapelle does not believe in God and does not believe in Jesus. These are the kind of black leaders that the Zionists put in front of us. Woo! Yo, Dave Chapelle, and it's like, man, I was thinking about this, man. I was thinking about that Saturday Night Live sketch or monologue, whatever you call it. And I was just like, yo, man, this sounds kind of borderline. I wonder what Ye thinks about this. And now here we are. The way he made this sound, yo. Okay, not only did he say that Dave Chapelle is really just stealing another underground comedian's bits, but he also went on to say that he almost made it sound like he's a puppet. I thought that was just like, whoa. I mean, he does have a point about SNL and who it's ran by and who does the funding and the production company and the channel that it's on and the network. He does have a point. But yo, how he dropped the bomb on Chapelle right here was kind of interesting, like saying that these people are pretending to be my friends, but they're really not. And I did kind of think that from watching Chappelle's Take. Yo, man, like I said, yo, a lot went on in hip hop this week. I mean, in the last, man, a lot's been going on. Can I say good or bad? I'm not really sure. But a lot has been going on, that's for sure.
Yay, I'm the head of the Mossad. I'm gonna kill you and take the children away from you.
Thanks a lot, Netin. Back to you, Alex.
Please turn your microphone around, sir. I mean, I'm definitely overwhelmed here right now.
As I mentioned before, or like I said, can we talk about this? Can we talk about this? I saw other people put it in their videos. We should be able to talk about it.
Yahoo, but we're gonna call him Nathan. What you want, Nathan? Hey, yay, right after this, I'm gonna say you're crazy. I'm gonna take your family away from you. We're not done with you yet. You cannot cause free thought. We have to control the history books. We have to control the banks, and we have to go and kill people. Also, we're in the pedophilia. Ha ha.
So
I actually want to send this to a friend real quick. I'm going to film this with my phone.
And in a little while, hopefully you're going to take the mask off, because is this actually Ye here, folks? Is this the mask is coming off in a little while? Hopefully, we're going to be able to have a discussion about this. But I mean, seriously, you have the global
Destruction like of my marriage. I'll point at the liberals and say, you took my wife from me. You know what took my wife from me? The fact that I was married to this beautiful person, but I felt like it wasn't enough. I felt like I still needed to look at pornography. In some way, I'd say to her, well, stop making these images, stop breaking the internet. You know, that original term comes from my ex-wife actually having a nude photo that I didn't know about, that someone used her and put her on a magazine. But there's somewhere where she's like, well, if my husband is looking at this, I still want to be like the girls that are doing this. And this becomes people reliving the traumas, pushing the addiction. The pornography industry is not even a big industry. It's like less than $10 billion, right? So that means that it's not used for prosperity, it's used for disparity.
He went on with a mask on and the jacket. And it was just so interesting, too, to hear Ben Shapiro's take on this.
What we've been watching for the past few weeks is the obvious mental breakdown of one of the most famous people on earth, Kanye West, who now wishes to be known as Ye. What we've been watching here is obviously a manic episode from a person who has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I've been saying this since the very beginning. Several things can be true at once. One, Kanye West, he is a Jew hater. Pretty obviously, there is no way to avoid that conclusion. The stuff that he's been ranting and raving over the past several weeks demonstrates that he doesn't just hate specific Jews, he hates the Jews. And the fact is that Ye West is in the middle of a mental breakdown, and we are watching it on the world's most public stage. It is the most famous person to have a mental breakdown probably since Howard Hughes publicly. And that says something about how our media cover mental breakdowns. It says something about how American society treats madness. We seem to treat really outlying insanity as a form of rationality, and meanwhile, we treat kind of borderline normal behavior as mentally ill. Not great. You stride into Alex Jones's studio wearing what appears to be an oversized baggy jacket and a full face covering black mask. When I say a mask, I don't mean like just face. It covers his entire head. He looks like he's about to go rob a bank, except you can't even see his eyes. Ye West. I mean, he's literally there with what looks like a black sock over his head. Apparently, it's a Balenciaga sock over his head, as we'll discuss in a moment. He actually defended Balenciaga yesterday. So for all those people on the right who are saying, well, you know, he's a good Christian who's just defending our honor. First of all, if this is your Christian lineup, right? If this is the best Western Christendom has to offer, is Ye last night, Alex Jones, and Nick Fuentes, Western Christendom is in serious, serious trouble.
But I like how Kanye called everybody out. The other interesting thing is that he's doing his run. It almost seems that the media said, okay, they're going to take off the Drink Champs interview. And then they took that off, and then Ye said, oh, since you're going to take down that interview because you knew it was going to be big, I'm going to do every big podcaster's show that's on YouTube and hit the whole demographic. So he went on everybody's show. He's basically on everybody's show. I also found it interesting that he had a black Holy Bible in front of him as he was talking with the mask on. But I got to say that looking at that imagery, it's pretty crazy.
I'd love to hear everything, because guess what? We don't get to hear. It's hidden. Even like our truth, the fact that African Americans were in America before the Pilgrims, that truth is hidden. That we are actually the Native Americans, or some of us are Native.
Okay, so let's jump to some of the parts right here. Let's jump. I mean, because this is, if we try to watch it like this from clip to clip to clip, it's going to be all over the place. And again, I'm starting to see CIA agents pop up on YouTube and on the internet again, posting news videos about how he's hypnotized or he's having a meltdown, or what was the word that people used? Because I don't even talk like that, so it's like I have to Google this word sometimes, because I'm sure that MK Ultra understands that words are very powerful and that they use words to control the minds through media, which a lot of people, amazing, have still not understood that theory yet. A mental breakdown. That's the word or the phrasing that people say, that he's having a mental breakdown. I think Ben Shapiro said that word like 5,000 times in his sketch or in his take, whatever you call it, because it's not real. But it's like, come on. You let Ben Shapiro talk about it. If you let Ben Shapiro talk about it, you should let me talk about it. It's almost like they take the audio references, sound bites, whatever you call them, and they put them in places where it's very hard to understand if you're not intelligent. And it's almost like they push this narrative, as people say, to create a certain topic and to create a certain thought. And then the people that don't do the research, which we already know that there's a lot of them. This is why apps like TikTok exist, which is a whole nother subject. But the people that don't take the time to do the research, all they hear are those sound bites, and then they judge off of that. Because this is what happened with one of my friends I was talking to about this, where they said, oh, well, Kanye's having a mental breakdown. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's crazy. And it's like, well, what's the part that you heard that made you come to the conclusion that he's having a nervous breakdown? You know what the answer was? He's just having a mental breakdown. I don't know. That's where people's heads are at, yo. That's where people's thoughts are at. So and people might say, like, well, who gives a shit, right? You got to go to work tomorrow. You don't care. And I get that. I feel that. But I want to say this, though. It's kind of a big story, though. It's kind of having people in school rethink what should be taught in school right now. This is one of the thoughts that's going around the world right now, that's having people think about what we should do about education, religion, and the work industry. A lot of the laws that are in place today are pretty outdated. Let's continue.
I didn't harm anyone. All I said is, and I spelled it wrong because I was drinking alcohol, and we see the Bible says you can drink, but the king should not drink, right? And I shouldn't have been drinking. I shouldn't have said death con. That was a $2 billion tweet, basically. I know you know about getting sued.
I hear you. So let's expand. Yeah, that's also drinking.
Yeah, when he did the sleepy tweet, the famous tweet, it's interesting too, because I remember when I first saw that tweet and read it, I was just like, okay, what you gonna say, man? But I was expecting it to be like right away, right afterwards, and then I guess his Twitter account got suspended or deleted after that. But interesting that Ye says that was a $2 billion tweet.
I just love information. They have some documentaries. Apparently, Bezos is allowed to put up any documentary, but if a basketball player tweets it, he'll lose his entire career.
Also, the takes on Kim are so interesting. Like, basically, from what it sounds like, even though that Kanye seems to be still in love with her, or I think I'd heard him say in one interview that she was the best out of them all. Whatever that means, right? But it almost sounds like, from what a lot of people are saying, is that Kim is being controlled by the Illuminati, however you want to say it, because there's no other word for it really that comes to mind. and she's being controlled, or that this is just the person that she is. And it just sounds like a lot of backstabbing and high maintenance and I don't know, just all kinds of stuff from her. I gotta say that this is a disclaimer that everything in this video is not truly expressed by the thoughts and views of beatGrade, as everybody's got to do nowadays, because we got to put that disclaimer in here. I'm just reporting what I saw from this interview, and I found it interesting to share. This does not necessarily mean that we condone the thoughts and opinions presented by Mr. Ye in this video.
We're clarifying. This is big.
Let's clarify. Satan, the angel, God's one of his favorite angels, one of the most powerful angels.
The most powerful.
Yeah. Satan, that's what I like. The most powerful angel, Satan. And he brought angels with him when he left heaven, right? How many angels did Satan bring with him?
33% of them. So he brought billions of angels with him.
Oh, it was only 33% of them? Or no, 33% of them?
Warriors with him, working for Satan. But God runs the world. And it's Satan that gets inside of the Zionists and makes them do evil things. But these are stories, because I'm a baby Christian, right? But I heard that, God loves me so much. He loves me so much, right? Then I go to Drink Champs and I'm drinking. And the Bible says king don't drink, right? I know it's not Milo. I know I'm not saying it in correct, perfect English. But the Bible says king don't drink. And I'm drinking and I'm smoking, and I'm using my ego, because I'm tired of these like fed.
You're like, I'm lit.
Let me say, I'm tired of these fed celebrities trying to pick on me, thinking that they gangster. We not in high school, Meek Mills. We not in high school, Puff Daddy. And everyone thinks that they're so much more gangster, like they got me in some way. Ain't none of y'all more gangster than God, and God got me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that.
Oh, no. Everybody posing and acting tough is nothing. If you talk about rebel black sheep, I mean, you're definitely it, buddy.
Yeah, y'all not tough to me. But I'm drinking, and then I start saying stuff that doesn't please God, right? It wasn't the Zionists. It wasn't the banks. It's God set me back. But the fact that I still had 400 million and Forbes couldn't get around it, it showed God loves me, but he had to set me back a little.
Well, it's a Jobian proverb. You're going through a Jobian trial.
Yeah, because since I lost my wife, right? Since I lost my family and I was no longer the priest right in the middle of that home, and I didn't have the say-so over the content that my kids watch and what they wore and where they went to school and how we went to church and what they ate, I was frustrated, and I let the devil come and get me. I let the devil pull me in.
Everything he just said about his children right there, though, in that part, was pretty powerful, man. Just to control what school they go to, what religion they pray to, what food they eat. It's all a very powerful thing, man, if you really think about it. Like, you should want to be watching and controlling those things, or maybe control's not the right word, but you should be paying attention to the things that your children are consuming.
And then we're so-called free, but we're never free. And we're Republican, but then we're turned to Democrats at the MLK, JFK time, right? And we're told we're black, and they made songs that said, say it loud, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. And then crack came. And then rappers started saying, what's up, my nigga? I'm a nigga. You a nigga. It's, okay, I'm a nigga then. Wait a second. I thought nigga was bad a second ago. Nah, nigga is fine. That's what the feds told us to call ourselves. And then even Beyonce, we never thought she called herself a bitch. Missy said, hey, I'm a bitch. Everyone says I'm a bitch. Okay, now our black women are bitches. So we're bitches and niggas now, right? I'm a nigga. You a bitch. I've even said this in my raps. So I wake up and I look at my phone and they say Ye's an anti-Semitic. So I said, okay, well, I'm an anti-Semitic. No, you said I'm an anti-Semitic.
The part where Ye pointed out that the FBI made up the term niggas and bitches, and that we're calling ourselves this through hip hop and through the music of hip hop. And I gotta say, yo, I couldn't agree more with that statement, because I had a conversation about this recently as well, where it was like, well, you know what? Hip hop wouldn't be the way it is if rappers didn't put out the type of music that they put out. And I was just like, yes and no. You see, you ain't understanding the background basis of it, and that the industry or the media, the mass media, shall I say, only promotes that low frequency vibration of that type of rap. You know, killing each other, fornication, as Ye put it. Nothing but that. Nothing but that is all you really see in hip hop right now, or that what's in the mainstream. Even so, it seems more than at any time ever. Because I think there was a period where you had underground rappers that were speaking the real, and then you had all the mainstream rappers that were just talking about the BS. And it was like this constant war that was going on. You know, like maybe mid to late 90s to 2000s. But then somewhere around the middle of the 2000 era of hip hop is where it just seemed to stop. And now it's just heavily just on the violence and sex. Let's go back to that real quick and just peep that part real quick, because that was really powerful.
To choose Gabby and Lizzo instead of the Beyoncés. You can try to create the narrative, but God runs the world. And the people are tired of that. People, all the athletes, all of the celebrities, what I'm saying is, I love you guys also. I understand you're all scared. I understand why you don't want to get your bank accounts frozen. I get it. I love you. I'm not listening to none of y'all because y'all all scared.
Yeah, so again, like Alex said, this interview was definitely entering the Twilight Zone. It was definitely something that I have not really seen before. I feel like Ye was definitely in some kind of a character with the mask on, but it's all good. Nonetheless, he was still speaking the truth. And some people will also disagree with that, and that's fine. I have no judgment on this. My whole purpose of this video was just something that I found intriguing, and I thought that it should be shared and discussed. And that's what we're doing. You know, people should have their right to the First Amendment to be able to say and express their free thought. And it should not be taken down just because some group doesn't believe in what you are saying. And I think this is why Ye is making his rounds around the podcast world. But yeah, this is not a video of what I'm endorsing. So before people start to go and say, "Oh, well, you know, you're putting this out, or you're saying this, or you're saying that," nah, man. I'm just doing what I think we should all do, and that's come with an open mind and let a man express his free thought. And we're just here to share and discuss. And that's it. That's it. No judgment, man.